It's America at Night with Rich Valdez.
Every now and again, I like to let my hair down and get into some entertainment topics, and there's a lot going on right here in NYC. And our guest today, Aesha Waks, she's an actress. She does a lot of things. She's an advocate for mental health and so much more. Aesha, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Hi, guys.
So talk to us about, today's the opening day of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's hitting theaters. Talk to us about your involvement and a little bit about that project.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I haven't really spoken about this before today, so this is exciting for me too.
Scoop.
So someone rediscovered me. I had absolutely no idea that anyone was looking for the Bubblegum girl forever. And it was news to me. And my friend just said to me, "That's you." And I'm like, oh my God. I've never like seen the picture. I'm like, what are these fan pages? And I started reading the comments and I'm like, people have been searching for me? What?
Wow.
But the thing that's so scary is because I was such a little girl at that time, I don't remember anything. And you know what? No one's ever stood up and claimed the role. And I'm gathering my memories and I'm like, oh my God, I think that was me. So I started asking casting directors, agents, and I'm like, was this me? And they're all like, yeah. And I'm like, why didn't anyone tell me anyone was searching for me?
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like kind of crazy to me that this is going on. And this is so politically incorrect, but instead of getting D pictures in my DMs now, I get guys blowing bubble gum. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
That's terrific. So you're famous, the Bubblegum girl. Now, talk to us about how you ended up in this world of entertainment.
So it started with having a guest appearance on Romper Room and singing the national anthem at Shea Stadium for the Mets as a kid. And my mom, God rest her soul, she passed away. She was like, why are you so comfortable? Like, it's weird. Like, why aren't you camera shy? You're so shy in real life. And I said, I love it. My best moment was right before I walked on. And she's like, there's something up with my daughter. And during the time, I was having a lot of social issues in school. The popular girl in school kind of took me under her wing, and I didn't understand what's popular, what's not popular. Everyone would talk to me. I had the best table in the house, the best seat on the bus. And, after years, I guess, because I was so shy, my character started coming out. And maybe I wasn't as sub as I appeared. Like, I kind of came off like alpha, heads started butting, and I ended up being outcast. So I spent many years in solitude and isolation. And that's when I decided to come up with a film production company with the kids in my neighborhood. And I started making my own films, and it started kind of becoming professional at that point and getting into SAG and everything. And
what's that road been like for you?
Very isolating, and a lot of highs and a lot of lows and hardships. I was bartending at the time, and I got into kind of personal training, and I realized, you know what? I want to do something more fulfilling when I'm not on film sets and modeling and making music, and I decided to become a mental health advocate. And I just actually recently went from provisional to becoming actually certified to take this on through lived experience. And I spend most of my time when I'm not doing my creative stuff advocating for people's mental health.
Talk to us about that. What does that look like in your day-to-day?
So it could be in person, it could be remote on the phone. It depends if someone needs physical support to accompany them somewhere and speak on their behalf, or it could mean giving sort of like a mental health listening session, being emotionally present and coming up with action plans to better their lives. It's very fulfilling.
Yeah, I bet. I can't imagine how helping people wouldn't be fulfilling.
Yeah.
Aesha, you talked to us about your upbringing in the city and your career early on in entertainment. Talk to us about what it was like. I was born in Brooklyn too, so I know that it's a very unique experience. Nice. You know, when you meet other people, you're like, oh, you get it, but not everybody else gets it, right? It makes you kind of different, I think, but in a good way. And talk to us about, you as a kid and what that looks like today, the New York that you see today.
I was kind of pretty much always the same person. I was always mature beyond my age. And I think that my parents raised me to be a really nice person. It was a very hippie household. And I don't remember getting punished more than once in my whole life. My parents were really supportive of me. I was actually a cage dancer at the Limelight in the Palladium when I was a kid.
Wow, that's crazy.
My mom chaperoned me and signed waivers for me to dance in the cage. I was making enough money as a kid to pay for Broadway dance school and all my ballet and hip-hop classes.
Wow.
By myself.
That's a story you don't hear every day.
I went to LaGuardia High School.
Fame.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was actually told at LaGuardia and Mark Twain Junior High School after my auditions that I was the first of the list and that I immediately got in right after the audition to both schools. So I didn't have to wait all summer to find out that I was going to be in performing arts. And once I actually got into the schools, I would cut class a lot. Okay, so I was you were asking me about my childhood. I was really rebellious. I was leaving school. I was going on tour with the Mad Stuntman as a dancer around the world, underage again. And I started with music and poetry and hip hop at a really young age. Actually, right now, I'm working on my album called Memoirs of an Aesha because I want to thank you. I want to take some of my older music and kind of release it for the first time, but saying I did this a long time ago, and it's so high tech that it sounds like it.
Talk to us about the genre and who you're targeting with the album.
So I want to target anyone that feels different. I kind of want to merge all outcasts. So that doesn't have to be any kind of gender, sexual preference, political preference. It's just people that want to fit in with a bunch of other people that are different that'll never fit in with each other. That's kind of like a horde of black sheep.
It sounds like New York City.
Yeah.
Speaking of New York City, I want to get your take on not so much the politics, but more the problems. Growing up in Brooklyn, moving to Queens, going to public school here. Clearly, you've seen the evolution of the city. You've seen it from probably its worst, if you were at Limelight, to its best, I think, during Giuliani, and to where we are now, which is kind of going backwards. Your thoughts?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say shout out to Tommy Louie for introducing me to you, and Curtis Silva, who I'm definitely in support of. I really think he would do a lot to help protect and bring the city back to what it was. Yeah. With that being said, as a former club kid, I kind of really miss the scene. I kind of miss going out and finding an eclectic group of artists to just spend my night with. You go out now and it's sort of not like that, and the scene always kind of moves around. I mean, there are some impresarios that always have something cool going on, like shout out to Narcan, etc. But I mean, just to have that community that we used to have in the club life, that I don't feel is there anymore, and I'm so sad about that. And I think two major issues, and I'm a huge advocate for artists, is rent stabilized or sliding scale apartments. Could do a huge movie and be willing to pay more, but what if you're kind of out of work and doing your humble work? The money isn't coming in as much. Who's looking for us artists? New York is about art. I mean, primarily amongst a lot of other things.
I think economic opportunity is always important, and the most important thing is to create more of them, right?
Yeah.
Artists wouldn't have to struggle if they had more opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think it always comes back to that. But you mentioned something interesting about Curtis and clubs. He was sitting in this chair a couple of weeks ago, and we were having a conversation about clubs. And I said, when I was a kid, there was Palladium and Limelight and the Tunnel and Exit.
Yes.
And I couldn't name a single big club in New York City today. Because I think not even One Oak. It just
no.
It's not
Richie
even
Kiva, right?
Yeah. Right. There's just not a big thing like that. And it was in response to Mayor Eric Adams saying something about he had gone to the strip club in Miami. And I was saying, you know, I understand how that goes, but we don't even have that here, right? There's no more iconic New York club. And my point to Curtis was there's an economic impact that comes with having these clubs. People that come from all over the place to go to this nightclub and spend money and maybe even come from other countries to spend a week here and hit all the clubs. And that I feel is missing from New York City because New York City is a cultural mecca in the world. But yet it hasn't been, and I think in large part because of COVID, as well as because of crime,
right,
and because of economic opportunities. It was cheaper, I think, back in the days to rent out a warehouse and start a place like the Tunnel.
Yeah.
You can't now. The rents are really high, and people aren't going to make as much money because people aren't making as much money. So you look at that, and you have this candidate, Mamdani, who's talking about all these great things, that everything's going to be free, but there's no money to provide these things for free, right? It would bankrupt the government and take all our tax dollars. So Curtis and I were talking about this, you know, making clubbing great again in New York City. And I think that would be an interesting thing, and not for the fun of it, but because of how it, you know, what it means to New York. What do you think?
I would love that. I know that there are more like serious things going on in the world, but like, I want to enjoy my life also. Like,
who doesn't like a good party?
Yeah. I want to also say that being from Queens, and I know Curtis is like the biggest advocate to make subways safe, and I hope that happens again too. But what about 24-hour buses, the run to the boroughs? What if a nice club does open in Manhattan and I want to stay out until 3 o'clock in the morning? How am I supposed to get home and feel safe?
Yeah, well, it's hard to feel safe in New York City. Aesha Waks, let everybody know where they can get Memoir of an Aesha. Okay,
so the best thing to do is follow me at Aesha Waks, and that's on Instagram, AESHA_HASHWAKS. I post links to my music, my books, and everything else I do. That's like kind of my hobby. I kind of shut down my website, and I'm just using that. Yeah.
Say the handle one more time.
Sure. AES as in Sam, HA, then it's HASH, then it's WAKS. And if you do write in the DMs, friends of Rich Valdez, I'll immediately follow you back. So it'll be fair.
All right, amigos, that's Aesha Waks. Check her out. The Bubblegum Girl.